Hello. This has been a
Hola.
very frustrating setup of the Chacha and Moe show. So, Chacha, what are we doing today?
Well, Happy New Year, everybody. It's our first show of the new year. We've been away for a while. That's why we call this an intergenerational and intermittent podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not dead. We're okay.
Yeah. In fact, we're learning and growing. And what I wanted to chat with Miles about today is I was fascinated to hear that in your 6th grade Spanish class, which is your first your beginner year of Spanish, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your teacher does not use a textbook like mine did. And it sounds like you hardly even do any like conversational stuff because we used to have to talk to each other and answer questions out loud. What do you use?
We use Duolingo.
What's Duolingo?
Duolingo is an application you can get on your phone or you can do it online on a computer.
Mm-hmm.
And we actually have it pulled up right here. So
Go figure.
this is Duolingo.
Yeah.
So what you
cool.
do is when you start, you can do a placement test, so it puts you in a place that they think you'd be good for if you already know a bit of Spanish.
Which you do.
Mm-hmm. Or you can just start from scratch and go through. And these are all the little skills, so you can go through them. There's phrases, travel, restaurant, family, all sorts of stuff
How do you pick?
in Spanish. So once you get to level 1 on a skill, you can unlock the next ones to try them out. There's some people that go
so
through
those
like
the levels that you're at with each of
yeah.
these.
So there's some people that just go through like one level on every single skill and then they just
I
move all the way
see.
down.
You're
I
you only have
try to get
idioms
all
on one.
5.
Yeah, but you
so-
don't have idioms.
idioms. It was a special course I unlocked,
Okay.
and that one there's only one level on it.
Ah. So you unlock things by earning points? Does that have to do with your crown level?
Kind of. So every time you complete a course, so let's say I did leisure. Once I did 4 lessons, I would get 1 crown,
Got
and that
it.
would go up here.
Right.
And then once you get 5 crowns, and there's like, it goes like 4, and then 4 again, and then 8, 16, and then 20, I believe. And then once you've done all of that, you'll have 5, and then you'll get more crowns just by doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you complete a skill, you get 2 lingots, and lingots can be used in the shop. You can unlock idioms and proverbs and the timed practice and double
What'd
or
you learn in
nothing and
idioms?
streak freeze.
Do you remember anything from idioms?
Not really. There was some weird stuff. They just kind of like went over some idioms in Spanish and like, here I can do a little practice. So,
Donde hay humo, hay fuego.
yeah, so they have like stuff like this.
I did not know that humo was the word for smoke.
Yeah,
I just learned
En
something.
boca cerrada no
So,
entran moscas.
yeah, they just have stuff like this you can go through. And
Oh, but wait. Silence is golden. But in Spanish it says a closed mouth doesn't allow any flies.
Boca
So that's the
cerrada.
meaning. Oh, so they're giving you meaning as opposed to literal translation.
Entran.
I don't think so. I think that's actually how you would say it in like Spanish.
No. En boca cerrada no entran moscas. In a shut mouth,
Boca
flies cannot enter. That's literally what it says.
entran.
Not silence is golden.
Let's
Boca
look it up. Here, let me
Mm-hmm.
see.
Hmm.
Oh, I
Yeah.
can't.
Don't use chacha.com. Use Duolingo.
But you can go over idioms. It wasn't really that helpful, I don't think. I don't think I've ever needed to tell anyone in my 12 years of living, where there's smoke, there's fire.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's kind of a fact. I mean, you don't really think, oh, smoke. Can't be a fire. Psst, no way. Get out of
Didn't we just
town.
see that video about what they use on commercials? How they make smoke with cotton balls?
Oh,
Heated
yeah.
cotton balls. Where there's smoke, there's an ad for French fries.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Say that in Spanish. So I'm curious what it's like. So you get into class, and the teacher's there and just tells you that for the next hour, I'm going to be watching the computer. Like how?
Well, basically, they just tell us to do Duolingo most of the time, and
Just do Duolingo. That's your class.
the teacher hasn't been there most of the time because he's been coaching soccer games, so we get subs 90% of the time, which is fun.
So are the subs able to teach Spanish, or are they more just like watching over
They
you?
just go like, do Duolingo, and they'll watch over us.
Okay, I could be a sub. So, I would expect that there's a lot of room for cheating, like using Google Translate or
Most of the
maybe-
kids don't even do it anyway. Most of them get ready to be exposed if you're in my Spanish class. Most of them, they just go on like unblocked games on their computer or watch YouTube. And yeah.
Wow,
Mhm.
that seems like some gap in your education is happening there. But for yourself personally, you enjoy Duolingo. Like, what's your take on it?
I like it. I think it's really helpful because like it goes through the different like skills, and it doesn't just like do the skill and then it's over. It'll still use stuff from like the previous ones. So once you get like farther and farther, it won't just have stuff from like talking about like people. It'll have stuff from like everything above it, and it's
Yeah,
just
it's
helpful for
building
actually
blocks.
learning the language.
So what strikes me most of all is that, when we were learning it, besides the fact that it was a textbook, it was a lot of times divided up by grammar, by, verb tenses. And I don't see here it's divided more about topics and this is all, I guess this might all fall under vocabulary.
Yeah, I mean, they kind of like subtly go over grammar in them though. So they'll be like, here's the English, here's Spanish, here's how you would say it. And then they would like do like tests and stuff. So even in like the intro, they go over like a tiny bit of grammar, phrases to go over quite a bit. And then they like slowly go through it.
Subversive grammar. I love it. It's just so refreshing not to have to conjugate verbs. So we would have to go yo, tú, usted, nosotros, vosotros, ustedes, and know each of the verb conjugations, even though that's not really how you talk. It would allow you to know how to address somebody, but the way that you're learning it is far more organic.
Yeah, they would like show different cases of how you'd like they would go into the words, and then based on that you can kind of tell with other stuff like, oh, this you would use usted or whatever. And I think that's a good way of doing it because it can get confusing if you're just saying like, here's how all of them work, here's how all of them do it, because it's kind of hard to remember.
It's not even confusing so much as boring and off-putting, and it sort of creates like a grid in your mind where language is so alive and so multidimensional, and you're not thinking in a grid. I think it's there are some people who learn better that way. There's so many different ways of learning, which I also find fascinating. But this seems to be really sort of native to being online, and I like how there's goals and you have achievements. So this is something that your teacher can then use to monitor your progress. So it's like, why do you even need a teacher?
And then they have like, you were saying like achievements. So like this one, for the first one, you have to maintain like a 3-day streak, and then 7. Next one is like 30. And then they have like, you have to complete all skills of a course.
Now, do you get extra credit for badges, or does
No.
does it add up to a grade, or?
No, it's just kind of there, and you can try to get them.
And then what happens at the end of the year? Do you test out of a certain level, or like?
Well, we've yet to do a test actually.
That
which
I
is
find fascinating.
weird.
It's February, almost mid-February, and you have not had any tests or quizzes or any way other than these online assessments.
Mm-mm.
Oh, that's fascinating. What's your hardest class?
Hardest class? History for sure.
Because
History is very annoying for me since I have a very terrible memory. And also when we're reading history, like, we go over it and our teachers will say, like, remember this later on, it'll help you. And then there's, like, some stuff where they won't say it and I'll be like,
it's on the test.
why would I need to know this later? Or it'll be like some stuff will be like, what did the Indians eat for breakfast or something? And like, I don't think ever, if I got any sort of career other than like being someone who studies history and stuff, would I be asked like, wait, what did the Indians eat for breakfast?
Now, getting back to language, one thing that I also remember from the way that we studied was you had to do a lot of writing. You had to do reading, you had to do writing, you had to be able to spit back what you'd learned. So how does that work on Duolingo?
So in Duolingo, it'll go over stuff, and instead of like, you don't like write it down or like study it, you just like type it down. So
Tú eres una mujer.
like right here, you would have to like type what you hear or something. So yeah, and
Okay.
then you have to like either write in English or Spanish.
Okay,
So,
that part makes sense.
yeah.
Wow.
And then we do take notes every now and then in class, though. We'll like go over like vowels and the alphabet and accents and numbers or whatever, just pretty basic stuff, and then we'll have to like take notes on that. And we are getting graded on our notes, though, so yeah.
Okay, so that's another element. How you doing with that?
Pretty good.
Don't you love when your auntie asks you about your grades?
Oh yeah, my grades are actually pretty good right now.
I'm very proud of you. We have one more treat for you all,
I
in keeping with our theme.
don't know if you could tell, but I
No,
believe
she's taking a nap.
I
We have a
believe
little Chihuahua guest.
we have an
Guest
animal.
star.
Oh, she's awake.
Steffi, come. Come here.
Stephanie.
We're speaking one of your native languages. Hola, Stephanie. Ven aquí.
Stephanie, come.
Tell her in Spanish. Steffi, come. Let's go. Up.
Here. Come here.
There, little girl.
Need room?
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah, here she comes.
Jump. Here. Here's Stephanie.
Girl, I love you.
We have
Oh,
a
she's
dog
not
with
on
us.
camera here. Let me just take her from side.
Yeah.
This is Stephanie. Say
Mhm.
something into the microphone.
Speak. No.
She's shy. She's as shy as she is beautiful.
And I also have a dog. It just happens not
Also
to be
napping nearby.
alive. Yeah. It's still a cool dog, but it
What do you think, little one?
just kind of not alive. Live dog meets.
Well, Happy New Year, everybody. We promise to do more podcasts.
Yes.
You've missed us.
Our microphone keeps dying. Yes, we will do more. We're gonna try to aim for monthly as like the minimum. And if we can't do monthly, then that's sad. Yeah.
Triste.
Triste. See.
Okay. Adios, amigos.
Subscribe, like,
Gustar.
and comment. Because that's what all the cool YouTubers tell you to do.
Hasta luego.
Bye. Okay.
Cool. So when you say
Meow.
expose.